working out and working people out?
Well, I've been working out personally for about 10 years. But I just started taking it seriously to like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And when I came home, I had got my certification in prison. So when I got out, a lot of people was like, giving me compliments on the way that I looked. And they was asking me, was I a trainer? And I told them, yeah, I'm a trainer, but I'm not really training anybody at this time. So I got enough of that. And then I just said, well, you know what? Let me start doing what, I'm supposed to do. I guess this is what I'm called to do. So I started doing it.
Okay, so what certification did you get in prison?
Well, in prison, I had got a certification called NFPT. It's the National Federation of Personal Trainers. And it's a guy out of Indiana that's over that company. And it's a recognizable certification. And, for inmates at that time, instead of us paying $500, we only had to pay half. So that was a blessing in itself. And when I got out, I got another certification with NASA, which is a real good, certification to have, But that only said that you qualified to be a personal trainer, that you're certified to be a personal trainer. But are you qualified to be a personal trainer? That's the question.
What do you mean by qualified?
Qualified is, do you have the knowledge of how to transform someone else's health and body? Do you have the physical experience to do that for somebody else, what you've done for yourself? Because textbook knowledge of being a personal trainer is okay, but we got a lot of personal trainers who need personal trainers. So we just can't go off you having certification. Let me see your work. What have you done?
Okay, and how many, if you could remember, about how many bodies have you transformed? How many people have you worked out since you've been doing this thing?
Oh, brother, that's a good question. I done came across so many people. Some get started, they lose weight, they stop. It just, it's been an ongoing process with people trying to get them to be consistent. But I have a little crew now that I've been working with, and they've been consistent, and they've shown their results. We have before and after pictures of what they've been doing from, point A to point B, and it's coming along real well now. I think it's starting to catch on that I am a good trainer, and I do love to see results. I'd rather see results than take your money. So I'm not going to take your money if I feel like you're not going to, put out the best that you can put out, because first of all, my name is on the line, and second of all, I don't want you to waste your time or mine.
So what's the difference between working out a man versus a woman?
Well, most women, if they're not bodybuilding, they don't want to have muscles. So they scared their weights would give them muscles, which it will if it just depends on what type of workout programs you put them on. My clients always ask to just tone up. So I wouldn't put them on a workout regimen that's going to bulk them up. So my thing is light reps. That's what I recommend for women. Now for men, depending on the look you want. Some of us, we like to be big. So if you like to be big, of course, then we're going to lift heavy. If you just want to have a nice frame and tone up, then we just going to tone up. We're just going to, do a lot of reps with lightweight. A lot of us like the Mayweather body. He's not too big, but you can see every muscle in his body. So it just depends on what you're trying to do.
Give me your best and worst story starting off in the gym.
Working with people or just in general?
Start with yourself.
Oh man, when I first started, I'm just like everybody else. I didn't have really no motivation to work out. I only worked out, by spell, according to how I felt. I didn't incorporate it into my lifestyle until later. So then I started working with a guy in prison. Shout out to him. He's from Arkansas, Dodi. And this brother here, man, his body was just so immaculate, and it just inspired me to have that type of look that he had, And so I got with him, and I learned a lot from him, man. And I just, that's what I've been doing ever since,
So what was like the worst experience you ever had working out?
The worst experience is when I tried to lift a whole lot of weight in front of somebody and I couldn't lift it. And afterwards, it caused me like a back injury. And I had learned from that point on, it ain't about lifting heavy. If you're not in a competition, a real competition, it's not about lifting heavy. You could hurt yourself trying to, lift heavy when you don't have to. You can get the same result that you'll get from lifting heavy just by putting maybe 10 or 20 pounds over your body weight on the bench. That was like my
What was your best experience in the gym?
My best experience was when I got my body all the way that I wanted it to be, and people was complimenting me on how I looked it. And then when I looked in the mirror, oh man, I just fell in love with myself, and that just gave me the motivation to just keep going and going and going and going. And I haven't stopped yet.
So what would you say is like the keys to success to staying healthy and keeping a great body?
First of all, prayer. I don't want to get religious, but I believe in prayer. I believe in, waking up and saying a prayer before you do anything. Then after that, the keys will be to be consistent, to have discipline, and have determination. Now, without discipline, consistency and determination is impossible. So you have to have discipline. And what I mean by discipline is adhering to a strict set of rules that you place for yourself. That's discipline, and follow them to the T.
So working out, how much or how many days during the week do you work out?
I work out 5 days a week. When I was incarcerated, of course, I had all the time in the world to work out twice a week. But I want to try to get back to that now because I love it. And I love the effects of it. I love how it makes me feel. And I would recommend, if your life is not too busy, I recommend that you at least get 4 days out the week of working out.
At least 4 days. So what about for beginners?
For beginners, I recommend that they start out with maybe 2 or 3 days to kind of get their body adapt to what they're doing, just depending on what type of shape they're in before they start a workout. If you've been living a sedentary life, I would recommend that you take it easy, maybe come in the gym once or twice until you get adapted to it, and then you want to work your way up to the 4 days.
So what would you say is like the cornerstone exercise?
What you mean, like something that would have an overall effect?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I specialize in. I specialize in exercises that will have an overall effect on your body, not just on your body, but on your inner cardiovascular system as well, because that's what's important. We can gain muscle and have muscle that look good, but that doesn't determine if you're in shape or not. What determines if you're in shape or not is your cardiovascular system. That's what you want to bring up to par. Having muscles is cool, and that's the benefits of working out, but it's all about the heartbeat. If that stops, then it's over.
All right, so what's the best way to keep that heart up and running?
I recommend what they call HIIT exercises, which is high intensity interval training, which is a combination of different exercises with minimum rest. That right there is the best exercise in getting that heart rate up. Also, burning fat.
Okay. So tell us another thing of the importance of getting rest, sleep.
Oh wow, which is something I'm lacking right now because I'm working overnight and I'm training. But sleep is very important. You have to let the body rest. You cannot sleep 2 or 3 hours of the day or at night and wake up and think that you're going to get a maximum performance out of your body when you go to the gym. It don't operate like that. Sleep is very important. They recommend 8 hours of sleep. Me personally, I only recommend maybe 6.5, 7, depending on what type of lifestyle you got. But you definitely want to get your rest because without that rest, you cannot perform the way that you're supposed to perform.